On demand now.
The Jeremy White Show.
So our next guest is a member and the frontman of one of the greatest Canadian bands of all time. They got a brand new record called Last Night on Earth coming out November 7th. You can pre-order it now wherever you get your music. Also going to be hitting the road with lots of dates. Is what's turning out to be probably their biggest tour of Canada ever. Going to be hitting the M-Telus in Montreal on December 3rd and going to be hitting TV Place in Ottawa on December 6th. Tickets are on sale now on finger11.com. Please welcome to the show for the first time, the one, the only, Mr. Scott. What's going on? So obviously I want to talk about this new record, but just real quick, I mean, talking about Halloween and stuff. The first time I ever discovered your band, I was a huge wrestling fan growing up, and it was because you guys did Kane's entrance theme. And this was like after he had the original organ theme, and this was like Monday Night Raw, like when the fire hit and like that was the creepiest shit that was the first time I actually was ever scared in my life, and it's partially because of you. And I'm glad you got a kick out of that because it's so. I'm so
true. Sorry. Yeah.
I saw on your Instagram that you guys are bringing that back into the set. So is that by popular demand? Is that like something you guys are annoyed by at this point, or is it like a blessing in disguise?
It's we brought it back because there is a demand for it. You know, people ask us all the time. And I guess I sort of got to take a bullet for that because, you know, as far as taking it out of the set and not playing it for a while, because it's a pretty demanding song vocally.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, I like the song. It's just that, you know, when you're on the road, you try to figure out how to like preserve your voice. But if it's, you know, we had to have the discussion, okay, well, is there a way we can do it? And people really, I think they do want to hear it. So we broke it out on this last tour we were on, and it gets a really, really strong reaction. So I just gotta suck it up and do it because it's, you know, it's worth it. But I just gotta, you know, gotta pace myself a little bit.
And I mean, look, I mean, like, I'm sure you've told the story before, but it's the first time we're talking. We're like, how did that ever like happen? I mean, like, how did you guys get pitched to be the band to do that song?
I think there was a compilation or a collaboration record called Forced Entry, which married wrestling themes to rock bands. And we got picked to be on that, at least to pitch. Right. So they said, okay, well, like take Kane's theme and build a song around it. It doesn't have to be wrestling. It's just do whatever you want. And I wasn't that excited about the project. James and Rick were very excited about the project. And I was just a little unsure, but they really loved the riff. And, you know, they built this really great song around it. And as soon as I heard the song, you know, I was like, oh, okay. This is just, it's just going to be a Finger 11 rock song. This is going to be really, really cool. So it came together very quickly. And then we used Dave Schiffman. I think he was one of Rick Rubin's engineers. And the session was maybe one evening long. It was a very, very, very quick session. And he was so pro about it. We did it. We did it in Toronto, and it came out. It just, you know, there's not time in a session like that. There's not time for it to go good and bad. It's just going to go one way. Right. And I remember, it's such a demanding vocal, but I remember sitting on a high chair in the studio and just sort of having it sound right. And so I just really didn't move. I just had a microphone and I just sang it a couple times, and that was that. It was pretty special. So it was born of that opportunity to be on that Forced Entry record, and we're really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah. Now, I can honestly vividly remember I was at like SmackDown Raw Super Show at the Bell Center in Montreal in like 2006 or something like that. And like Kane, like he was back, and like I just out of nowhere that pyro hit. Like you're used to seeing it on TV, but hearing that song like in the arena at the Bell Center and the pyro, and just seeing him walk past you, like it was just the most evil feeling like entity like I'd ever been in the presence of. And like, so I just wanted to thank you for that awesome childhood memory.
That is so. How old were you at the time then?
Dude, I was in like grade 6 or something. So that would.
Well, that's just so special. You know, like I know you were terrified, but like for the magic to work and for it to sort of affect you like that. I mean, you know, it's my honor that you were terrified. I'm glad I could glad I helped with that memory.
No, it was awesome. So talking about this song, like you said, you know, it's kind of taxing vocally to perform live. Talking about this new record, which is called Last Night on Earth, by the way. It's available pre-order wherever you get your music. Finger 11 coming out November 7th. Talk a little bit about your maintaining your voice over the years, because a lot of these songs, and specifically this new record, you're all over the place vocally. I mean, you've got the heavy, four on the floor kind of driving rock metal songs, but then when you bring it down into the acoustic stuff and you really strip it back, you're incredibly dynamic and melodic. How are you maintaining your voice, and was it a difficult thing to do on this record?
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate those compliments. I think in the studio you can take more risks, and you can you can experiment, and you can try and fail. I think there's two different things. You work out the song and you serve the song in the best way you can, and then that's done, and then you have to figure it out how to do it.
Right. Does that start with an acoustic guitar and a melody and lyric, and then the big production comes afterwards, or?
Not necessarily. A lot of times, like sometimes the full musical idea will be all done, or sometimes we'll have a chorus or something and we'll build around that. I mean, this record has such a long, it spans such a long time that there's every method available was probably used, but once you don't think about, oh, how are we gonna sing it live, or how are these, because it's a real pain for the guitarists to figure out what they're going to do too. Like there may be many parts, but they have to make it all one part, and it's very important for them to make that work.
Are you guys playing vocally the tracks live? You got playback helping you out, or is it all executed like?
There are no tracks. There's a few triggers that help us out, like for this sound effect here or that sound effect there, but very minimal. Like Steve uses
cool pads and like ethereal effects happening and stuff, and like you can't really pull that off live. Like it's tough.
We try our best to kind of we're not that interested in putting like a pile of tracks in the live stuff. Like but we got to represent it in a pretty accurate way, just maybe different. But as the more we can just rely on what's on stage, the better. Mm-hmm. But it's I just take I take live singing pretty seriously, and then there's like a pile of ritualistic stuff I do, where it's like. It gets into like a steam inhaler, honey, water all day, being quiet. Like it's all that stuff. You just got to take it. You got to take it seriously. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. Sometimes you can do everything that you're supposed to do and it hits it's not. And, you got to take the L sometimes, but you got to take it seriously. Mm-hmm. And I guess that would be my secret, don't forget to breathe. Sometimes you get so into the show and you forget that you've got to support that note, and you're just busy. If you're busy living in the moment or kind of enjoying the vibe,
having a little too hard of the meet and greet with the fans, the next thing you know, you blow out your voice.
I mean, that's a rookie mistake, and we've all been there. What are you going to do?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because there's so many artists I talk to, and it's like they're always like, "Yeah, that's why we hate doing day of interviews and stuff like that," because it's like I only have a certain amount of power or time on my voice in a day, and you're powering through a 90-minute show. It's like every second counts.
So right. But you just sound like a prima donna. But it's true. Talking is the enemy. Or even like just sound check. You're just opening it all up again. It may as well be another full show. It's almost the same thing to your voice. Mm-hmm. So yeah. But hey, I also get to sound like a prima donna. So that's I got that going for me.
Hey,
it's like
you're
I can
allowed
just
to.
make the that's right. That's part of my
it's part of the shtick. Come on, you gotta be Paul Stanley,
Yeah. Oh man.
Talk a little bit about the production of the record. I mean, it sounds fantastic, but it sounds huge. Where did you guys record this? Who did the production and everything?
Well, we have our secret weapon on this record, and that's largely within, and it's our drummer Steve Malella. Not only is he an amazing drummer, he's a crazy good producer. So it was we recorded most of it in his basement. There's with the exception of like drums and acoustic guitars and some of the string stuff, obviously. Mm-hmm. But it's such a I don't know. I feel like we're the luckiest band in the world to be able to have a guy that joined 10 years ago and was sort of immediately assimilated into the band. It's very difficult because the other four guys have been in the band for 20 years,
Yeah.
prior to that. So like, how do you break into that? Well, he did a great job, and he's a younger dude, and he kind of you know ushered us into this new era of Finger Eleven. And he was a fan of the band before he joined.
Right.
So
Which definitely
um
helps.
oh, it does. Like, he's got like a fan's ear, like, oh, what's going to be an exciting direction that a fan might want to hear Finger Eleven to go.
Yeah, but even from like a younger perspective, I'm sure bringing more of a modern sound and a production approach to it as well. I mean, even the drums sound. I mean, like once Nickelback's Dark Horse record came out, like everybody's drums were sounding the same, and then like now it's like everybody's getting into this cooler kind of like unique sort of sound, and this record has that type of sound to it. It sounds
Yeah.
fantastic.
Well, yeah, there's like a lot of thought has been put into every single aspect. Like, if if it's on the record, we've thought about it over and over and over.
Right.
So yeah, really, it's really nice because I like the way Steve produces vocals. He just lets me do my thing, and then says, "Okay, that was perfect. Let's do it over a million times." But like, do this slower, or like watch this. There's I've worked with a lot of producers, and if you don't have an immediate comfort level, you're going to be there all day, and it'll be like pulling teeth, man. It's really tough.
Well, you need them to be another extension of the band in a way, right?
Correct. It's 100%. Yes, that's true. So this is just, there's a trust there.
Mm-hmm.
And he got some incredible performances out of me. I felt really, really strong. And if he wanted me to, like, try this or extend that somehow, in the past, that's hard for me to do. Or, like, there's, lyrical suggestions are tough, and they always will be.
Yeah, of course.
But,
it's like having somebody, tell you your kid's ugly,
Well, yeah, like your ego's gonna take a beating, but it's also, you gotta listen. You gotta listen to the people that you trust. And so, with Steve, and with the band, that's how we came out on the other side of a finished record. Right. This time. It is okay, where all the ideas can come from, anywhere in the band. And, it's one of the secrets to our success. It just takes forever to get it done.
Well, look, I mean, it's a piece of art at the end of the day. It's going to be in a library of music in somebody's phone or collection for years. I mean, like, you want it to be perfect in a way. It's not like a live show where every show is going to be unique in its own way, but that collection of music, I feel like it's important for it to be a representation of what the artist wants it to be.
Yeah, 100%. It's just that, there's been older times, or like previous records rather, that you'll have a month and a half in a big fancy studio, and once that time is done, your record is finished. That's right. It. Whatever's there, you gotta step away. That's that. So, in this, there was the exact opposite in this case, where we had way too much time, and we would open things up.
Bad thing, though? Exactly.
Right. I think it's we eventually made it a great thing, but we took way too much time. What are you going to do?
Is there pressure from the record label at this point to be like, we need another Paralyzer, or do they come in and say, you need to give us at least 2 or 3 like radio kind of hits here?
No one has ever directly said that. I mean, I'm sure that would be a wonderful boon to Finger 11 to make another Paralyzer.
Right.
But I think internally, we're always swinging for the fences. Like, we're always trying to make big music, right? There's, you don't need to tell us, hey, try to write something, try to write a big hit. Like, there's, the further on we go, it's more like, all right, this 5-minute song better justify every single moment. If not, it could be a 3-minute song. So we'll go one way or the other. The idea is usually, like, if there's no fat on it whatsoever, we'll have a song we like, and it's like, this bridge is not, like, is there anything else we can do? Is there something better? I mean, we extended the song Last Night on Earth. We had the demo, and we really, really liked it, and like for several years. And I remember Rick saying, "Man, like, wouldn't it be cool if we had sort of like a super chorus on, to sort of in that?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, it would be a cool idea, Rick. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, it'd be cool if I was, like 30 years younger. Yep, that would be cool. How are we supposed to do that? Because I really like the song as it was, but he was right.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, if we could find our way through, it would be this like knockout part on top of an already, great song. And so we spent a long time trying to figure it out. And there are many demos to sort of, that are showing that kind of have this idea or that idea. But we eventually came up with, there's the sort of the elevated part in that song that wasn't there before. And now it's kind of inextricable. I can't imagine the song without that. So there's times to take away. Most of the time, you should take away an edit, and then in very rare instances, tack on a super chorus if you can find it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also kind of the great thing about having a producer and that's not necessarily in the band, sort of say, because it's like at least they're maybe they'll give you like a different perspective on something, or maybe make you second guess something, or
100%. There's that objectivity. I don't think bands know exactly what they have sometimes, and they can be really precious about what they do have.
Yeah.
At other times. So if you've got that's what your really good producer is going to do. He's going to like officiate the whole thing, where it's like, all right, let's take it in this direction. Let's get everybody on board, so there's not this like push pull when we're trying to put this song together. But again, that comes down to like trust and like taste. Right. And like what's cool and what's not. So it can be a sticky situation, but Finger Eleven hasn't had to. Those conversations are pretty short, where it's like, yeah, all right. There's times where this guy in the band's not going to think that idea is very cool, and it's like, all right, well, let's figure out how to make it cool, and let's figure out how to make everybody happy. And those conversations are pretty short. It's mostly trying to just like. You get the music to the best it can be, and it's like, all right, if it needs to get better, then let's all make it better together.
Yeah. Well, I think this record's absolutely fantastic, and fans are going to freak when they hear it, because especially if fans that are big fans of big electric guitars and big drums and incredible, really good soundscape production. I mean, this record's going to sound great in their AirPod Maxes. I'll tell you that.
I mean, that was the goal.
Yeah.
So I think they're in for a big treat.
The Jeremy White Show. The Jeremy White Show.